Hello students, today we will start a new chapter, that is chemical changes and reactions. You have already studied about physical and chemical changes in your last class, class 8, and we will quickly recapitulate that and proceed with our new class syllabus, that is class 9 syllabus. Okay. So last class you have studied about what is a physical change. A physical change is what? In which no new substance is formed and chemical composition of the substance will not change. Only some of the physical property of the substance like say state, color, size and shape of the substance changes. Then that one is what? That is the physical change. For example, melting of ice, breaking of glass, glowing of bulb. And even you have studied in that class about the characteristics of physical changes. Few characteristics of the physical changes, that is in a physical change, no new substance is formed. Generally, this is temporary and can be reversed. Why generally? Because you know that if grinding of wheat, chewing of food, so they are what? They are not reversible. Only physical properties of the substance changes like shape, color, size or state, and no change in weight takes place, and only a little heat is either absorbed or given out. And these type of reactions cannot be represented using a chemical equation. Now next we have studied about the chemical change, where what happens? The after the change, new substance is formed with total new set of properties, and chemical composition of the substance totally changed, and physical as well as chemical properties of the substance changes like burning of paper, digestion of food, rusting of iron. All these are what? Chemical changes. And in characteristics of chemical changes, you have studied that no new, sorry, new substance is formed with completely new molecular composition. And this is a permanent and it cannot be reversed. And here physical as well as chemical properties of the substance changes, and the weight of the substance will actually not change according to law of conservation of mass, but apparent change in weight is there because something is lost in the atmosphere, and large amount of heat is absorbed or given out, and it is always represented by using a formula, sorry, using a equation, using an equation it can be represented. Now we will discuss about two of the reactions where physical and chemical changes occur simultaneously. Means these are the examples involving simultaneous physical and chemical changes. More examples are there, but I will discuss with you the two examples. Like first is that zinc hydroxide is heated. When zinc hydroxide is heated, then it will give zinc oxide and water. So two new products are formed. Chemical composition of the reactant is different from the product. So this is what? This is the chemical change. But when so zinc hydroxide is heated, it will give zinc oxide as the residue and water in the liquid state. Now this zinc oxide, when it is heated, then it will be yellow in color. It is yellow in color when hot and white in color when cold. So this is what? This is the physical change. Because here just the change of the color is there. The composition is same, zinc oxide and zinc oxide. So this is an example of a reaction where both chemical and physical change occur simultaneously. Another example is when potassium nitrate salt is heated. When potassium nitrate salt is heated, first it will melt down. So melting is what? Melting is the physical change, that is the change of state. So potassium nitrate in the solid state converted into the potassium nitrate in the liquefied form or in the molten state. Now again, if it is heated, that potassium nitrate on further heating, then it will decompose and give potassium nitrite and oxygen. So here this potassium nitrate gives potassium nitrite and oxygen. So new compounds are formed with new composition. So the product is different from the reactant. So this is what? This is the chemical change. So in case of even the potassium nitrate, first the physical change occurs, that is a potassium nitrate converted into the molten state, and then it will decompose, that is the chemical change, and give potassium nitrite and oxygen. So this is all about the examples involving simultaneous physical and chemical change. One example is also there, that is the burning of the candle, where what will happen, the candle first it will melt, and then the molten wax converted into the vapor form, and then it will burn into the carbon dioxide and water vapor. So that is also an example of reaction where simultaneous physical and chemical change occur simultaneously. The conditions for chemical change. Now, first condition is that is the close contact. It means the reaction between the two or more components when they are either in the solid state or in the liquid state. It is possible only when they are in contact with each other. If no contact, then no reaction. Because during the chemical reaction, what happens, the particles collide with each other, either the molecules or atoms. When they collide, and when the probability of collision is maximum, at that time the rate of the reaction is also maximum. So collision is necessary for the chemical reaction. So to collide the particles, first condition is that either they are in close contact, and that is possible either by, if they are in the solid, suppose the components which are reacting, they are in the solid state, then they are mixed together. First they are grinded and then mixed together, because grinding makes the particles smaller and increase the surface area. When they increase the surface area, then probability of collision is also maximum. So for example, potassium iodide and lead nitrate, these two salts, they react with each other only when they are in close contact. This, when they are bring together by grinding, then what will happen, they react with each other and give potassium nitrate and lead iodide. And but some of the substances like sodium chloride and silver nitrate, if they are in the solid state, mixed together, still the reaction will not take place. But if sodium chloride and silver nitrate, we will make the aqueous solution, means the solution of sodium chloride in water and silver nitrate in water mixed together, then what will happen, it will react and give sodium nitrate and white precipitate of silver chloride. Second is that some of the reactions possible or feasible only in presence of heat, like potassium chlorate. When it is heated, then it will decompose and give potassium chloride 2KCl plus 3O2. And in the same way, when sodium nitrate, just to keep, it will not give any product. But when it is heated, then it will give sodium nitrite NaNO2 plus sodium nitrite plus oxygen. And in the same way, when copper carbonate is heated, then it will give you copper oxide plus carbon dioxide. Copper oxide, which is black in color, and carbon dioxide, a colorless gas, is obtained when copper carbonate, a green salt, is heated. Lead nitrate, when it is heated, it will give lead oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So all these reactions are possible only in presence of heat. No heat, then what will happen? They will not react. So heat is the condition for the reactions to take place. These reactions, only for these reactions. Some of the reactions possible only in presence of light. You have heard about the photosynthesis. We know that photosynthesis is not possible without light. So light is necessary condition for the photosynthesis. In the same way, the hydrogen and chlorine, moist hydrogen and moist chlorine will react with each other and give hydrogen chloride gas only in presence of diffused sunlight. No light, then no reaction. So it will take place in presence of diffused sunlight. So it will give HCl. And if the intensity of light is more, like if direct sunlight will be there, then the reaction will be violent. In the same way, chlorine water react with each other in presence of light and give HCl plus hypochlorous acid, HOCl. Now this is unstable compound, and this HOCl immediately decompose and give HCl plus oxygen. It will give HCl and oxygen gas. Hypochlorous acid. And carbon dioxide will give this one. Carbon dioxide gas will give, carbon dioxide in presence of water. We know that light is there, sunlight and chlorophyll. Then what it will form? C6H12O6 plus oxygen. So it will give C6H12O6 and oxygen. In the same way, silver nitrate will easily be decomposed in presence of light. In presence of light. So silver nitrate will give you silver plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. Okay. Okay. And hydrogen peroxide will decompose and give water plus oxygen. So these reactions are possible in presence of light, and they are also known as photochemical reactions. Since the reaction takes place in presence of light, photochemical reaction. These reactions which take place in presence of heat, they are known as thermochemical reaction. Thermo means heat, so thermochemical reaction. Photo means light, so photochemical reaction. Some of the reactions are feasible only in presence of pressure. Mainly the reaction between the two gases, because two gases are there, two or more gaseous particles are there, then they will come in close contact with each other only in when high pressure is exerted on the gaseous particles. So they will come in close contact at that time due to the pressure and react with each other. Like in Haber's process, the ammonia gas is prepared with the help of nitrogen and hydrogen, under 200 to 900 atmospheric pressure. And here even the catalyst, other conditions are also there, that the catalyst is required and high temperature is required. But this is there that under high pressure, they will react with each other and give ammonia gas. Some of the reactions that in presence of electric current, and we call it electrochemical reaction. Electrochemical reaction like the decomposition of water. We know that water break down into hydrogen and oxygen in presence of electric current. So that is, the electrolysis of water is possible in presence of electricity. Again, the decomposition of sodium chloride solution, that is also feasible only in presence of electric current. It will decompose and give sodium at cathode and your this chlorine at anode. So these reactions are possible in presence of electric current. We call it electrochemical reaction. And some of the reactions which will take place only in presence of catalyst, they are known as catalytic reaction. Like here, Haber's process, that is possible in presence of the catalyst iron. Here that the potassium chlorate, the potassium chlorate decomposed to give potassium chloride and oxygen. That is also possible in presence of a catalyst, that is MnO2, manganese dioxide. And these reactions are known as catalytic reaction. Sometimes what will happen, the catalyst increases the rate of the reaction. So those catalysts are known as the positive catalyst. And sometimes what will happen, the presence of some catalyst will decrease the rate of the reaction, and that one is known as the negative catalyst. For example, this hydrogen peroxide is there, the same compound. When MnO2 is used as catalyst, then it will increase the rate of the reaction. So MnO2 is here acting as the positive catalyst, while in this case, that is hydrogen peroxide in presence of phosphoric acid, again give water and oxygen, the same product, but the reaction rate will slow down in presence of phosphoric acid. So here phosphoric acid is acting as the negative catalyst. So Thus, within the same reaction, one substance is acting as the positive catalyst while other is acting as the negative catalyst. I think you know what is a catalyst. A catalyst is a substance which increases or decreases the rate of the reaction without participating in the reaction. The catalyst will not participate in the reaction. And after that, I think you even know what is a promoter. Promoter means which will increase the efficiency of the catalyst, which will increase the efficiency of the catalyst, that is known as the promoter. And inhibitor is what? Inhibitor means which will decrease the efficiency of the catalyst. So that one is what? That is the inhibitor. So that is all about the catalytic reaction. Now some of the reaction even takes place in presence of sound, like the decomposition of this acetylene gas into the carbon and hydrogen requires some sound energy. So in presence of some sound energy, then this acetylene will decompose and carbon and hydrogen. So in this way, we have discussed some of the reactions where which condition is required to carry out the reaction. Like we have discussed about the close contact, then we have discussed about heat, light, and then we have discussed about the pressure, electric current, catalyst, sound. All these are the all these are the conditions necessary for the chemical change. It's not necessary that all the conditions are necessary. Some conditions are necessary for a particular reaction, then other is necessary for other type of reaction. So close contact, heat, light, electricity, pressure, catalyst, and sound. These are few of the conditions required to carry out the reactions.